everybody, welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy and this is Flosstube number 43. I am filming this on August 4th and it is week 30, week 30 of my year of 50 starts. Excuse me, I was not expecting that. Not sure why my voice got all gravelly all of a sudden. Excuse me again. Hopefully that'll fix it. All right. Well, I meant to film yesterday and then my brain just wasn't in the headspace. However, I really need to get back on Sundays with school starting in less than a month. I cannot believe school's already starting again. So I have a finish for you, a new start, some whips, some plans, the giveaway winners, some shout outs, a little bit of what I've been reading and watching. So let's dive in, shall we? And I also would like to say welcome to my new subscribers. I'm up to 250 as the last time I checked. So thank you again to everyone who shouted me out and brought some new people my way. And if you are returning, welcome back. Please feel free to share with me what you are stitching, ask questions. I love comments. I respond to everyone. Excuse me. I had kind of a little burp trying to come, and it didn't want to come. But anyway. All right. So let's get into it. So last time, July was not quite over. So I didn't have my July stitchy totals. My stitches for July were 21,564.75 stitches. So, yeah, a good stitchy month. I mostly credit that to Frogwarts, where it was competitive stitching. I was just intensively like stitching as fast as I could for like 3.5 days. Usually I don't get 21,000 stitches in. Life stuff. I have another dental appointment on Friday. They cleaned half my mouth, and next time on Friday they're cleaning the other half. Getting a gunk off my teeth. My husband's procedure that I mentioned last time went well. All the testing that they did came back and showed he's all good. So that was good. I got some extra shifts at Michael's. I actually ended up going to the ER. So, I went to bed one night. I can't remember which night at this point. Everything's like either the day of my husband's procedure or the day after. I think it was the day after. I laid down and I had a soreness like right under my, right in there. And I didn't think anything of it because I've gotten to the age where you lay down at night and random pain for no reason. Yay! And then it's usually fine in the morning. But it was just a little bit uncomfortable. I tried a couple of positions. I tried the, stretching in bed thing. And it was not bad enough to make me not be able to go to sleep. But in the morning, I had to pee. And that woke me up a little early. And then I started noticing some pain, and it's right under my breast along the rib cage, like where your bottom of your bra sits, right? That area. Not a fun place to have discomfort, right? But I started getting muscle spasms, and like I tried stretching, and it seemed to make it worse, and it was repetitive, and I thought it would stop. And I was having a hard time breathing. Like, I couldn't take a deep enough breath. Every time I tried to breathe deep, it felt like somebody was taking one of those big rubber bands for, like, working out and just doing this to my muscles in my chest. And I couldn't breathe. I was having to take little, teeny tiny breaths because if I tried to expand my lungs, it hurt worse. Like, it was stabbing me. So try to breathe through it, then the breath would hurt, because you breathe through pain, right? Didn't work. I tried sitting up, and that helped a little bit. I almost woke my husband up. Didn't, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to get back to sleep. And it eased up a little bit, so I got up, I went, and I started doing my morning toothbrushy thing, and went to the bathroom and everything, and I thought, okay, it's feeling a little better. Then it started up again, and it kept continuing, and then it would pause for a minute, and then, but there was still that tightness in that muscle, and it was doing it repetitively. And I probably panicked a little bit, but I would think that it's probably the only time in my life I've ever gone to the doctor in a panic when there wasn't maybe a real reason to. However, I did some Googling when I got up, and I was like, okay, so it could just be muscle spasms, no big deal, but it could be pleurisy, which if you don't know what that is, it is a clot in your lung. And my mom has had experience with women's heart attacks do not present the way men's do. Okay? And she probably had several minor heart attacks before it was diagnosed that she had had one, because by the time she got into the doctor, the proteins in your blood that they test for to see if you've had a heart attack had already passed through her system. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's not a heart attack. It doesn't feel like a heart attack, but it hurts so bad. Like, there were parts of the time where I was thinking it hurt as bad as childbirth. That's how bad the muscle spasms were. And you have to understand, my husband has chronic pain, and he gets muscle spasms all the time. He's like, yeah, that sounds about right. You just get used to it. I'm like, oh my God, how do you get used to that? But then I called the nurse's line to see if I was panicking. And because it was near my heart, of course, they said, go ahead and go to the ER. And I feel kind of silly because it was just muscle spasms, but literally the muscles were so spasming, so tight. They ended up giving me like prescription strength naproxen, but it took several hours. My poor husband didn't get any sleep, and then he had to go get one of his headache treatments later that day. So wait, that would have been Wednesday. Okay, that helped me. I remembered what day he had to go to do that. So we spent, sorry, my toe brushed the tripod. We went from like 6 in the morning, we got to the emergency room, and we were there till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was not fun, but they gave me some IV fluids, and they gave me some medicine, and I don't know, like, without going there, I don't know how long it would have taken. It hurt so bad. Nothing was really wrong, just a weird random muscle spasm, but it was like, I was sore the next day. Like, when you laugh really hard and your stomach's sore for the day, couple of days after, that's how bad the muscle spasms were. And then eventually it started moving up into the shoulder, and it almost like I could feel like the nerve right here, and it was specifically that nerve. So I have issues with the shoulder. There's no cushion in this shoulder because me not listening to my mom and going and riding my pony and then falling off and having somebody land on top of me. So I have nerve issues in the shoulder. So we're actually wondering if the nerve issues in the shoulder just radiated down and caused the nerve pain. But yeah, so had an ER adventure this week. That was fun. Not really. Although, and the medicine didn't make me sleepy. I didn't get really fun, good meds where it was like I got to be silly and goofy. And the pain would make my blood pressure spike and my heart rate go up. So it was not a fun time. But other than that, I had a good week. And I hope that doesn't happen again for a long time. Hopefully never. But so that was my adventure for the summer. I was like, what a great, oh wait, it was Thursday. It had to be Thursday. Yeah. So it started Wednesday night, Thursday morning, because it was the last day of July, and I was like, what a great way to close out the month. As you can see, my brain is not fully functioning, which I really need to get back to functioning because school starts in less than a month. All right, so that's been my adventures. I do want to ask again, if you could, I will put a link, I will put the web address. I am doing NAMIWalks. NAMI is an organization that helps people with mental health issues through advocacy, through classes, and helping them find resources in their communities. They have local chapters all over the country. I am doing their NAMIWalks, which is a fundraising 5K every year. It's on September 27th. If you could donate or share the link to my page, to have other people donate, that would be awesome. It's a really good cause and one close to my heart. All right, shout outs. I got several shout outs this week, and I wanted to give thanks to those people. Joshua from Cambrian Stitches, Adelaide of Adelaide Stitches, Jason from Jason X Stitches, Charlie of Stitching with Charlie, and Aaron the Hiking Stitcher all mentioned me this week in their Flosstubes. Thank you very much. If you came from one of them, please let me know. And if you came from somewhere else, let me know that. Even if it was just the random algorithm gods. So let's get to the stitching. So I have two finishes for you. One is a Shawshank Redemption sampler. It's already been mailed off, and I'm using the device I have pictures on to record. So I don't have a picture of that, but you've seen me do it like 6 or 7 times already, and I've done like 20 of them. So that got shipped off so that it could go to its new home, but I do have a second finish. So 2 finishes in 1 week. This is my first, Shawshank was my last finish of July, and this is my first finish of August. So I am participating in Kenny Stitch's Abandoned Sal, where you take a sal that's long overdue and you haven't finished yet, and you work on it during the month of August. That is his stitch along for August. So I was going to do this for one of my weekly prompts, but I decided last night while I was doing my Doctor Who stitching that I would work on this. And I finished Rare Horror Flies by Noctifloradesigns. And what took me to this morning was the bottom words there. So technically it was finished before I did that, but one of the things she included when the sal was done was the optional numbers and code at the bottom for like a scientific picture. I started this on August 3rd, 2023, and I finished it this morning on August 4th, 2025. So it took me 2 years and a day to finish this. It is on 18 Count Deadly Blooms by Witch's Garden Crafts, which is gorgeous. I wish I had more of it. There are 18 colors, and I did it 2/1. So let me get really close in here. So if you look, I added these little numbers. A couple of them were already there. So last night I finished up this final little piece of wing that I had from last time. I had these 2 numbers, so I went on the sides and did, getting used to this, did the numbers on both of those, and then worked my way down. And then I got down to, I need a board. I have a board, I should just use it. I got down to like halfway through here, and then I was like, it's too late, I need to help make smoothies so I could have my breakfast this morning. And then I finished up the back stitching of the letters. I have not counted that up for my stitch totals yet, but I finally finished it. There are several errors in here, so things didn't quite line up the way they were supposed to, but I don't think you can tell. It was all like one stitch this way, one stitch that way. I realized when I was coming to do the final things that like these letters are not lined up properly, which is probably, but it's okay. Nothing's touching that's not supposed to be touching. They're a little snugger in some spots. I thought it was just going to be an error in like one corner, and then I might have frogged that, but turns out there's a lot more in there, and I'm not going to frog it. And I think it looks awesome even with, here, let's do this. Maybe this will be my thumbnail. Let's move it a little closer. But there we go. So I know it's really hard to read. So we've got number 1, carnivorous caterpillars. That's our friends on the side here. Number 2 is gornets. That is our friends up here. Then we have the eyeball empress. That is, I gotta unfold it. That is the beautiful purple lady in the middle. And then we have impish insects, which are these 2 friends down here. Fly babies are these. Oh, no, wait. No, the fly baby. Yeah, those are the fly babies. these two bigger ones. And then Margin and Amalia are these little friends over here. And then the Monocular Monarch is the big dude at the top. So, so pretty. Look at, I got another finish. So this is finish number 14 for the year. 14 finishes and 45 starts, because I also have a new start for you this week. So I am participating in Adelaide Stitches Orange Fabric Halloween Sale. And a couple of videos ago, I asked you, okay, I have these that I all think would be good. What do you think? I did not do the witch because it turns out that that is an AI generated pattern, and the designer has been known to steal designs from other people and make minor changes and republish them. So I decided not to do that one, though I love the concept of it. Plus the Dreamcatcher is cultural appropriation. So I skipped that one. But I did just go ahead and start this Raven Moon, and it is by Elizabeth Sherlock of Saving Grace's Fine Needle Arts, Spurlock. So that's what they did, and they're called for fabric. What is their called for fabric? I'm curious. It is just 14 count Ash Ada from We Will Die For You, which is not a fabric dyer that I've heard of yet. If you've ever used them, please let me know. It would be interesting. I'm always looking for good fabrics. Alright, I forgot to tell you, Rare Horror Flies has 18 colors and it's 2/1. Now, I started this one yesterday. It is 92 stitches high by 69 inches wide. This is my 45th start of the year. I am doing it on 36 count Pumpkin King by by Atomic Ranch Fabrics, and this is actually pretty close. It's a little bit more reddish orange than it's showing up here, but this is pretty close. So I'm doing it 1/2, and I was really concerned about the light, because I started in the moon, because I started in the corner and I worked down, and I wasn't going to cut my fabric, and then I got tired of, I haven't been in the mood to cut the fabric, so I just did a corner start and then counted from the corner to the closest part of the moon. And if I'm a couple of stitches off, it doesn't matter. And then when I get done, I will, or I'll count it out and I'll cut it. But I'll have plenty of room to do another, because this is on 36 count, so since I'm doing it 2/2, it's really 18. It's gonna work, but I didn't want to get it too thick on the 36 count, so the colors kind of peeking just a bit, but when you pull it back, you can't tell, and I think it'll just darken it up enough to make it feel a little bit more spooky. So I'm going to use this for one of my weeklies this week, because it has a tree, and in fact I might work on that today, who knows. But I wanted to get a good start, so I got about 200 stitches in yesterday, and I just wanted to get a good start on it. Excuse me. So I think it'll look really cool when it is done on this, and then I got to figure out what else I'm going to do with this. Now that I know that this will work all right with the lighter colors here, it opens up all sorts of Halloween possibilities. I was just a little nervous about that, especially since I knew I'd probably be doing it one strand, and I was afraid that there would be enough coverage. But I think it's going to turn out fine. The staple that they use to hold the sticker on the fabric is trying to come off. Alright, so new start, and I plan on another new start this week. I have still yet to start my unconventional cross stitch octopus cell. I'm also going to have to count from the corner. Second part came out, I got it in my email yesterday, so now I have more than just part of a tentacle. So I'm going to have to count down to that too, because we don't have the center of the pattern yet, and I don't want to wait to start it until we get the center, because I'm not sure what page that's going to be on. All right. So that I started for the Orange Fabric Halloween Sale by Adelaide. I think I already said, but I'm going to say it again. Next is whips. So with all the doctor's appointments and working and picking up after extra shifts, I have not had quite as much stitching time. Plus having to do some cleaning. Oh, and I had promised my husband peanut butter cookies, and so I had to make those. And I had a couple, and they were yummy. All right, so next is, for my first whip, I'm going to share with you. It's Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow by Cottage House Samplings. I started this on May 26th of this year. It is on 40 count Inca by Fox and Rabbit, and it is got 42 colors. And I am still on the first block, but I have filled in this part of this church and filled in some grass, and I was just trying to do my 200 stitches on it, so I didn't get as much done as I could have. Oh, and I filled in some more of the grass over here and some of the black border here. So it is gorgeous. And you can see a little bit of the pink in it today. That's awesome. So I love it so much. That's going to be a long one though. All right. This was a new start last week, and I talked about how I won this from Floss Boss and Cousins. If you have not heard, Callie from Floss Boss and Cousins, Christy posted a video yesterday. She's had a stroke. She's fine. She's having some communications issues, but she can cross stitch still, but she just is having a hard time talking. So Christy in the video did share her address if you would like to send her a card. That she did ask that you don't bombard Callie with messages on social media. And if you have any questions, please direct them to Christy. So, but I mentioned them because I won this from them. So this is Halloween Quaker. You can sense a theme. By Lila Studios. I started this on July 24th. And there are a lot of stitches in this one motif. This is on 40 count Mercury by Picture This Plus. I'm doing it 1/2. So far I've used the called fors. This is actually Christy stitching this little black one. I did have to, she had done most of this, let me get it where you can see it. She had done most of this motif already, and part of the witch's hat that comes on this. However, the die lots didn't match, so I had to frog it all so that I could have die lots that match. And this is, what is it, Black Cat? I think it's Black Cat, Black Cauldron, something like that. And it is subtly variegated, but if you look, you can see that the gray and the black, lighter black is changing color. Just a smidge as it goes around. I am doing this 1x at a time. Usually I do, I think it's the Danish method where you go all the way across and then come back. But for this one, I am doing I think it's the English method where you just do 1x at a time and work your way around. So yeah, partly to help. I mean, this is dark enough fabric and the holes are tight enough. I don't think I need to worry about it seeing, but it'll also help the variegated effect. I'm going to, I think, try what some people do when I get to the witch's hat. I think I'm going to do an outline and then kind of work my way around so I don't get too stripy. So yeah, I think it's looking good. I think I made good progress from last week. And this is actually going to be pulled out for, I can't remember what prompt it is, but this week, this is also going to get some more love. And for a prompt this week that this covered 2 prompts this week for fandom challenges. Religious symbol, and one that I haven't worked on in a while that was kind of in the vault that you lost track of. This is In Bulk by Stitches. I started this January 27th of this year. It is on 28 count casual, very smoky white linen. And it is 1/1, 22 colors. And doing this 1/1 on this, because there are fractional stitches, is a big pain in the tuchus. But because I'm trying to get it to fit a certain space above my son-in-law's altar, it is the only way to make it tiny enough. So we've got, this will be back stitched. I know it's hard to see, but that's the beginning of a sheep, some wheat, got some flowers down here starting in. So I got over 400 stitches on this week. This is also going to be some more flowers here. I think they're lilies. I'm not sure. I'm terrible with flower names. But, so some good progress on this. And if I can get one of these done every year, there's only he does, like, I got the whole set from Stitches because it came as a set. And I already did Yule, and I asked him which ones were the most important ones to him, and this was one of them. So this is the next one I started. So, all right. Only, that has 22 colors, by the way. Only one more whip. Then we'll get to some exciting stuff. Well, I find my whips exciting. I don't know if you do. All right, so my last whip for you is Frogwarts Year 1. This one was not one of my fandom challenges. This one is for the Countdown to Frogwarts Year 7. Countdown to Year 7 Sal, hosted by Sarah D., the Red Neck Stitcher. Excuse me. Our apartment is so dry all year round, and it just makes my sinuses go crazy. And I pulled one of the cards for work on something with an umbrella. And as you can see, if you remember from the last time I've showed this, I've gotten most of the umbrella done. And then I worked on this Every Flavored Bean. There's actually a tiny bit more right here of the umbrella. It's the other end of the stick, but I ran out of 3371, and I'd forgotten that when I did my big thread haul this week. So hopefully I have 3371 in another project, so I can finish off the umbrella. And the sorting hat. I need the 3371 to finish the sorting hat. But there it is. I am hoping to finish, I don't know which one, but one of these before year 7, at least. If I can get more than another one finished before year 7, that would be great. But if I just finish one, because I've got 2 out of the 7 years finished. So, there we go. All right. So, let's see, what's next? Haul. I just bought a ton of floss. I thought I had gotten a bunch of stuff, but when I was going through my project, I was missing so many threads I couldn't work on the next piece that I wanted to work on because I didn't have the right colors. So I got a CVS receipt length of receipt at Michael's for just DMC floss. I also placed this morning, I placed my order for the round robin, things I needed for the round robin, and a bead pack for one of my projects from 123 Stitch. So technically that's not a haul because it hasn't arrived, but it'll be on its way soon. I'm really hoping it will be here next week, and the prizes I won at Frogwarts will be here, as well as my missing items for my Frogwarts box. But I know they just had Camp Black Needle right after, so it takes them a little while to get that stuff to you, and it's okay. So plans. I'm going to continue with my Fandom Weekly Stitching Challenges. They're also featuring Black Work this month. So backstitching and black work to challenge this month. And it has certain colors. I'm going to continue to work on my Raven Moon for the orange fabric Halloween sal. Work on some of my sals, like my Overlook sal, my It sal, my Halloween storybook sal, and stuff like that in the month of August for the Abandoned sal. I plan on starting my Octopus sal from Unconventional Cross Stitch. First 2 parts are out, but I haven't started it yet. Make a couple of project bags, and as soon as my stuff for my round robin gets here, I will start that. So that means I will be at 47 starts, hopefully, by the time I see you next. And, ooh, that's else. I'm going to buy Wind Stitch this week. That's another thing on my list. In fact, I was like, I knew there was something else I was forgetting to do. I got started, the process started for my portfolio. I had to call a doctor this morning to make sure they were, or call my insurance to make sure the doctor that we were referred to is in network. I did a lot of grown-up stuff, and I should go do some more grown-up stuff after this. I might take a little break and do 200 stitches on a project and then go do some of the other grown-up stuff. But it's August. I fully expect that I will start getting emails from my principal. And when I switch phones, I lost my school email off my phone. I'm going to be going in a little early to set up my classroom because I'm in a different classroom this year. So it's time to get ramped up for school. Yes, my dear. What is it? Do you want to come say hi? Yeah? Are you feeling neglected? Come here. No? Okay. Thank you for your cameo. All right. And I have some shout outs. I have been trying to watch as much Flosstube as possible. And I switched it. So I started going through and I have my people that I watch regularly, like Mad Morty. Marumi Designs is back. I got caught up with Cam, the Stitcher, a little bit. Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole, Jen. People that I watch regularly. But I'm trying to go through, because I've subscribed to a lot of people, because I try to always subscribe when somebody mentions somebody. And so I've been going alphabetically and trying to watch at least one episode. A few people I found that haven't posted in 4 years, I'm just going to unsubscribe. If it's somebody I really like and I feel like I got to know them through their other videos and it was a year, I'm kind of keeping them on. There's a few people that are like, I enjoy watching people stitch, but there's a few people that I ran to that all they do is samplers. And it wasn't for me. So I went ahead and unsubscribed because I've overloaded myself with YouTubers to watch for Flosstube and I need to dial it back. But I've also found that doing just the one episode, I don't always get a good sense of people. Like, you know, they don't show all their projects. I guess I should go hunt down one of their whip parades and just watch that to try to find out if I really want to keep following them. But I've been trying to get through more. So I have I have 2 new Flosstubers, or at least Flosstubers that are new to me that I wanted to shout out. Sorry, it's super thirsty in here. We have Chandria Carol Stitches. That's the channel name, and her name is Chandria. She has a variety of projects. She does Halloween stuff. She has some nerdy stuff, Christmas stuff, and she's got really good energy. And then I finally got around to watching Coco Creates. Many people have recommended her. I just hadn't had a chance to get around to her videos yet. So Zoe is the person. Coco is the cat. Coco is a gorgeous kitty. And she has lots of great projects. My favorite one that I've seen so far is this black and white she has. That is 3 baby dragons. And I just love that piece so much. So if you haven't checked either of them out, please do so. I will link them below. All right, so I had 4 people enter the giveaway, and I did the random picker on my computer earlier before I filmed. So, I didn't record it because I record on my phone, and I guess I could have maybe done it on the tablet, but whatever. I'm just glad that there's a random comment picker that works, because for a while everybody said it stopped working. So the winner for my giveaway, just in case you forgot, this is the book that I was giving away for my 200 subscribers. Let me open it up. And the keyword was zoo. So my favorite one, I think, is the camel. However, I think he needs roller skates instead of tennis shoes. This is from 1987. It is super cheesy animal puns. I kind of love them, but at the same time, I've realized that I will never get around to stitching them, and as much as they amuse me, it is time to send it to a home where it will get the love it deserves. So the winner for this, and please contact me either through my Instagram or through email. I will try to go back and leave a post. I won't say that you won. I'll just say, please contact me. And I'm going to do my best to pronounce your name. The winner is Sukika Prese Kang. Or Kang. I'm not sure. Sukika Prese Kang. So, if that is you, please reach out to me via email or Instagram, and congratulations. I need to get your address so that I can send that to you. All right, last thing on the agenda is reading, watching. I just have a few things to share with you. As I said, I've mostly been watching Flosstube. I did watch an octopus documentary yesterday, and it was pretty good. It was also, they made these weird yarn models of the octopi. It was crazy looking. But if you are just here for the stitching, that is all done. And I hope you have a great week. So, for reading and watching, last Friday was Joe Bob. And if you don't know, he's a horror movie host. The features were ecological horror, that was their nice name for it, or Jaws ripoffs. So first was Piranha, which I thought I had seen, but apparently I hadn't, because nothing really rang familiar, so I guess I hadn't seen it. Interesting thing that I learned while watching Joe Bob, though, the main girl, the blonde main character, who I did not like at all, she was bossy. I know you're not supposed to call women bossy, but she wasn't assertive. She was bossy. She was not nice. She is the girl that was the teenage girl in Sound of Music, the one that has the romance with the soldier guy. I didn't know that. I also found out she was married to Robert Urich, and was actually came out of retirement from acting to do that film. She had been busy. Sorry, my legs are getting cold. I'm moving my blanket. She had been busy raising her and Robert's 3 children. So, I'm watching a lot of Doctor Who for fandom's challenges. I don't have access to Supernatural. I just finished up a book called Bookshops and Bone Dust. I think I heard it on somebody's Flosstube. It's kind of a cozy, it's like there's a bookshop owner, but it's fantasy setting, so you've got this orc who gets injured and comes to town and then ends up helping out this book store owner who's a ratkin, and so you've got like a fantasy bad guy, but you've also got kind of like, it almost has a cozy mystery feel, even though it's not technically a mystery. And it is 0 out of a Legends and Lattes series, which this is the only one I've read, so I think it's a prequel to whatever the first book was. And it is by Travis Baldier. It was fun. The main character's name is Viv. She is an orc. There's a ratkin. Yeah. So you've got like D&D style characters, but it's, more of a cozy mystery feel with a little bit of adventure. I listened to the audiobook. Travis Baldier, the author, read the audiobook, did a pretty good job actually. So there was that. And then when I finished that yesterday, I started listening to Marcia, The Joy and Defiance of Marcia Johnson. Marsha P. Johnson. If you are not familiar, Marsha is a trans activist. She died of AIDS, I believe they said, in 1992. She was involved in the Stonewall riots. It is authored by Tourmaline. Sorry, my Goodreads happens to be up on the computer, the TV behind you, and I wanted to say the author's name right, who is another trans person. They are not, ooh, for once I didn't silence something and you just heard a notification sound. They are not sugarcoating who Marsha was as a person. You're getting to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, as the phrase goes. They're not portraying her as a perfect human. They're addressing the complexity of the relationship she had with her family and the combination of love but not full acceptance, and how it was good in one way and bad in another. And I really like how they're just showing everybody as people. The author is not vilifying her family for their conflicted feelings. Our Marsha, is being shown as a human. I think too often we try to make all of our heroes perfect, and no person is perfect. So, I am not very far in yet, so I am looking forward to seeing the rest of the story, because Marsha Johnson is a name I've heard recently. It was never something that was talked about in school when I was a kid. Shocker. A child in the 80s in Texas not hearing about this. But I look forward to learning more about Marsha's life and what it was like in New York in the 60s and such. So that's all I've got for you today. I'm really going to try to shift myself back to Sundays for my Flosstubes. It'll be teacher workshop time in just a couple of weeks, so I won't be able to do it on Mondays. And I am probably going to end up doing every other week once school starts. 1, I'll have less stitching time. 2, I will be super busy. Right now, I'm only getting scheduled every other weekend at Michael's, so what I'll probably end up doing is filming on the weekends that I don't work at Michael's. That seems the most logical to me and the most least stressful for myself and managing my bandwidth and commitments. So that is probably what I will do. I hope you all have a great week. Please do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. So long, and thanks for all the stitch. Have a great week. Bye.